Chairman, sir. Would you like to I don't do one insulting herself. It's okay, madam. It's okay, madam. It's okay, madam. You have to respect yourself. Shut up and take him out. Smell him out. Smell him out. Look like a dog. Look at you. Big fool. Fool at 70. Fool at 70. How can you talk like that? I've been the senator.
I take exception to a senator.
Why are you talking to me like that?
You are a disgrace to the Senate.
You are an insult to womanhood.
You are
an insult to womanhood. And you are here to tell the world that you have not changed.
You cannot
violate. You are here to tell the world that you have not changed. At 70, you have not changed.
You are a scoundrel.
And we're stopping to take it. I will not take it.
A scoundrel.
I will not take it.
To insult.
That is why you can never be here. People like you can never be here. People like you can never be here. How can you be? How can you be a fool?
I'm not a hooligan.
You are a hooligan.
Mr. Chairman. Chairman of the committee. Chairman of the committee.
And you say I should keep my mouth shut. Who are you to say so?
Chairman.
Who are you to say?
Chairman.
Who are you?
Okay, officer.
And you refuse.
Chairman of the committee.
Mr. Chairman, sir. Mr. Chairman, sir. Mr. Chairman,
Chairman of the committee.
Mr. Chairman.
Chairman of the committee.
Mr. Chairman.
Chairman of the committee. Chairman of the committee.
Until when we read that the rule of this house and that constitution, that's when we can say that we have fair hearing and justice in this regard. In this regard, what the petitioner had said is that based on that press briefing, whether it was before Natasha was sent out of the National Assembly or not, gives an impression that the chairman of the committee has a particular understanding of this issue and could be said to be biased, on that issue, with due respect, sir. And that is what my client is raising. Now, my client had raised one more point, that in the petition that he had put before you, sir, that the petition had said is going to bring the principal witness, Senator Natasha, as one of the witnesses to speak on this issue. And we are aware that the Senate had made a decision on where she can come and where she cannot come. And so that is why we are saying we are ready to proceed. An oath has been taken. We have our witnesses ready. And the principal witness is Senator Natasha. So we don't also want people to go ahead and think that we deliberately came here. We have been called on serious. We have been called serious, and some names here. That we deliberately came here to come and stalemate here. No, that is not our intention. Our intention is that if we are going to proceed, we think the chair of the committee should please step down from this conversation to allow for fairness and justice in accordance with the constitution of this country. Because we can give evidence. Premium Times, March 5th, Arise, it was also recorded. We have several documentary evidence to show that at a point in time, the chair had said, dead or an arrival, she has no case to answer, and other things, sir. Thank you very much.
Counsel, thank you very much.
But let me tell you, and I use the word dead on arrival. That case that came before us, the first petition that came, is not this petition. That petition was signed by distinguished Senator Natasha Akpoti. Contrary to our rules, you cannot sign your own petition. 2, a petition that came before us did not even have an address. Contrary to our rules, that petition shouldn't have been entertained. Because you are a learned counsel, submit a case, submit your own petition to court, and don't sign it. They will throw it out. Whether you use the word dead on arrival or not, they will throw it out. We are lawyers here, so we understand that. In any case, from the position that I can see you are taking, it means the whole Senate is biased. Because the whole Senate witnessed what happened on the floor. They witnessed it. And so, I don't know what ad hoc committee you're going to now constitute that is not aware of what has been going on. Two, learned respondent has just told us, and I'm sure you have the case file and index number in front of you, that this matter is before a law court. And I will address that. I will address that by our rule book, which says order 47, and I will read on record. Senate should not receive or deliberate on any matter to which actions are pending in any court of law. Senate should not receive or deliberate on any matter to which actions are pending in any court of law. This is our rule book, Senate Standing Orders 2023 as amended. And I'm glad you said you have had the opportunity to read this rule book. Therefore, based on two things. One, the petitioner said he will not speak to his petition because the Senate is biased, or I'm biased, or the committee is biased. Two, the respondent has just told us, and the papers are before you, that this case is before a competent court of law. Therefore, this committee will allow a court of law that will not be biased to handle this matter. Therefore, this matter is closed here at the Senate and is adjourned.
Well, as you hear and you can see, the shouting fest that went on the floor of the Senate today in this hearing about the sexual harassment between Akpabio and Natasha Akpoti, you can tell from all indication that it feels to me as I watch this gentleman speak, this senator speak, it feels to me that there's a very, very deep vested interest, and he came with an agenda to that floor today, and that agenda is to defend the Senate president. So, and you heard when the chairman and Neda Maswan was speaking as well, it was more about we have to quash this case anyway, regardless. Now, so for those of you who don't know, the lady here is Dr. Oby Ezekwesili. She was once a presidential candidate as well, but she came as one of Natasha's constituent, as she said in a letter interview she had as well on Arise TV. But yeah, there was a shouting fest between the both of them, between the senator and Dr. Oby Ezekwesili, and it was about taking an oath, and one obviously talking about Natasha not being allowed to come into the Senate, into the National Assembly for 6 months. And herself being the principal witness, it will be difficult for her to actually, and she's not there, it will be difficult for our representative to speak on her behalf because she needs to speak for herself. But again, she's been barred from going in. So the key thing here basically is that there was an argument, and then one person called the other person a hooligan, and the other one reacted as well. So, and she said, "Can you keep quiet? Shut up so I can speak." And Senator, the senator there with the red heart actually felt insulted. Now, this is where I'm coming. The idea that our politicians feel like they cannot be insulted is literally ridiculous. And this is the impunity where I'm coming from. You can see, I watch a lot of American deliberations when it comes to politics, and you see them do their town halls every 3 months or thereabout. Even in the UK, they do the sessions as well. They call them clinics, and the people speak to their elected officials. They call them names. And when they call them, you just keep quiet and listen. In Nigeria, our elected officials always feel entitled. So whether or not you take the side of Dr. Oby Ezekwesili or the side of the senator, and you question why Dr. Oby Ezekwesili will call him to tell him to keep quiet and shut up, that's regardless of that. The thing is, he's a public servant. And because we have this Manchurian attitude in our system where when you're in a place of power, nobody can talk to you. But you forget that it's just a public service office. And then you can hear him say that that's why you cannot be here. You're telling somebody who was contested for the presidency to say the person cannot be there as a senator. It doesn't really make any sense. Normally, what most people would do, that people with sense, I would say, would keep quiet and listen to the people out there say. Because you're representing your people, you cannot be in a shouting fest with other people. That's what gives you the good standing before your constituents. How you carry your persona, your courage, the way you carry yourself and feel like you're a respected person that your people sent over. And Dr. Oby Ezekwesili would then feel like, oh, I shouldn't have spoken that way. And obviously she would then have to apologize. So, but again, this is the result of it. Now, this man here, the chairman of the committee, was accused of being biased. And that's why Natasha actually suggested or petitioned that he should recuse himself from it. And there's no way she'll get a fair hearing. And you saw the way he reacted when he said the case is adjourned, just thereby closing the Senate floor because the case is before competent court of the nation. So they will close the case moving forward. But you can see their vested interest. This guy here, Neda Emaswen, and the other senator with the red hat, Oby Ezekwesili or something like that, his name is. Pardon me if I didn't get it right. You can see their vested interest. And it felt to me like they just felt like they wanted to quash the case. It was more about pressuring them, making sure they just follow whatever rules they set. The idea, that you treat the Senate as though you're in a law court. I know they have their rules, they have their guidelines, but your rules cannot supersede the the constitution rather. So if you have rules and guidelines, you have to also remember that your guidelines guide you in the way you should go, but the constitution takes precedence. So where the constitution and your guidelines meet, the constitution always takes precedence. This is why a lot of people fought their suspension of Natasha Akpoti. This is why the constitution fought it. And this is why even Akpabio and the Senate leader, Michael Akpabio, could not even, say confidently that they had the right to suspend Natasha Akpoti. So whether or not you're a supporter of Natasha, it doesn't matter. What matters here basically is the fact that your constitution as a person, as a citizen of the nation, always will be protected. Your rights, rather, under the constitution, will always be protected. You understand? So the rush with which this man read the guidelines, the rush with which he, and said because he could not, because they were accusing him, and then he pivoted to say that they're accusing the entire Senate of being biased. And he then said, the case is therefore closed in the Senate. So meanwhile, that means they're not investigating that anymore. It is now closed because they didn't sign an oath, they didn't take an oath, they didn't do whatever they asked them to do, they didn't follow the guidelines. This is exactly the kind of foolery we're actually I'm experiencing in Nigeria. So make of it what you will, but this is what happened today. And I'm hoping that the people of Edo, where this man's come from, I hope in the 2027 election, you guys don't elect him, especially Labour. This man, Neda Emaswen, needs to go. All right. He needs to leave the Senate, and I know that all the plans that they're doing right now is to rig the election. So let's just continue and we would have to call them all out and we would not let them have their free will in this one. Okay. So, but as always, if you've not subscribed, if you've been following us and you've not subscribed, please like, share, and subscribe. And if you're meeting this content for the first time, please also subscribe, like, share, and put your comment in the comment section. What do you think about the action of this particular senator? The way he responded, in my opinion, I think he just told the lady, "You don't have to insult me. We can just talk," rather than actually get exasperated and then rain insults as well. If you're a senator, look at the way it is done in other nations around the world where there's proper development. But this is what we get when we send, like somebody put in the comment section, when you send hooligans to go become lawmakers, what they'll give you is uh, hooligan kind of rules and something like that on laws. That's what they will pass. But again, like I said, like, share, subscribe, and then we'll catch up in the next video. Bye bye for now. God bless you.